Hello everyone and welcome to my channel. I am your host Lucy with 3 S's in it, heavily inspired by Lucifer. StreetStyleScape couldn't be here for obvious reasons, because this could get a little more controversial. He's the funny little kid who runs the streetwear clothing line called Not a Brand. He made me do this. And I am the alter ego who does more controversial stuff. So I'm made for this. So today we are joined here with the lawyer, sneaker enthusiast, the artist and a very good friend of mine, Elina.
Hi.
Okay, so this is my first ever official YouTube video collab. Like vlogs we've done with other creators, but like an actual video collab, this is the first one. So I'm very glad to have you here. Thank you so much for tuning in here.
Thank you. Thank you for having me.
So let's get straight into the controversial stuff gradually actually. Let's keep it short. Before that, let's talk about our sponsor, Not a Brand. Yes, we sponsored ourselves. Triple S made me do this. I don't want to do this, but at the end, I'm just an alter ego, so I kind of co-own it, so I have to do it. This clothing line is made for the little art admirers amongst you, for whom clothing is a way of expression. Follow me on Instagram. I will be updating you all over there. And let's get started with today's video. Okay, Elina, the first question from my side would be, how did you join the streetwear and the sneaker community? Everyone has their own little story of how they got into it.
Yeah, so I think for me, sneakers were an obsession since my high school days, because I was into, I was a part of the basketball team, and I think Kobe 5s are very, were the ideal shoe for me to even play at and look cool at the court. Of course, I didn't have any income, I didn't have any means to buy a sneaker, but my passion began from there. And when I started working, I thought, why not buy a pair? And from that day on, I haven't looked back. And I think streetwear comes with sneaker because they are kind of amalgamated together as concepts, and also fashion goes with sneakers. So I got into fashion also, it was at the same time during my college years where I was exploring myself and my self-expression, and it just happened to be streetwear.
I mean, it makes sense. Like streetwear is a very broad topic. You can fall into anywhere. That's the beauty of streetwear.
Correct.
I mean, yeah, that's really cool. I love to ask this question to people that I meet who are into this kind of genre, and there are a lot of interesting stories that I get to hear. One of yours. So I'm really glad you didn't go for the Jordan ones to play basketball.
I think Jordans, this could just be easily called controversial. Jordans are the most uncomfortable pair I've owned. I'm sorry to say.
Right?
They're not supposed to be worn as means to feel like you have a comfortable shoe. And if I have to ever tell anybody to buy their first pair, I would suggest them a Puma or a New Balance, because they're one of the most comfortable pairs ever. You would feel like you're walking on clouds with them.
That makes sense, much more sense.
I mean, if you want to be that, into the hype culture of all of it, buy a Yeezy. They're actually made from soles which are feet. I don't know, so basically, doctors will look after your soul and how to walk. And I think there's a name for it. I'm kind of placing it, but I just feel like they're comfortable. And Jordan ones, on the other hand, I don't think so I can play basketball in now as well.
That is so true. I'm glad someone said this, because I thought, am I the only one? Because I tried to wear my Jordans a lot when I used to go to work, and after 3 to 4 hours, it was not comfortable at all. But you know what? I want this to be a separate topic for a separate video. We could talk about this for a while, because we need to give a lot of other suggestions as well on what to wear, what not to, and all that stuff. So I'd like to move on to the next question. But yes, very unpopular opinion. I think people should speak about this. As much as people hate mids, this should be a talking subject.
I agree.
So streetwear and the sneaker community is really amazing, especially with me in it. What are your views on it from a woman's perspective? Obviously, me sliding into controversial stuff.
Oh, it's. I'm glad that you brought it up though, because I think this industry is well known for being gatekept by cishet men. Because everywhere you look, there are men. And India, I think, just because it has just started booming with the sneaker communities and the sneaker industry, it is very pertinent that we kind of halt that process of people imposing their views onto you way ahead of time. Because I'm aware that outside the idea that there were only male designers, considering the fact that it was so male dominated, I would be a person who would make sure that something is done in that regard. So I started a platform, Sneaker, in that regard to acknowledge and represent women as well as LGBTQ community. I think that is also something which is a lacuna in the whole industry. There is no representation, there's no acknowledgement for people who are actually making a stride in the community. I'm not a spokesperson for them, though I'm a part of the LGBTQ community. I'm also a woman, but I feel like I can build a community and actually bring a lot of people on board with this idea that there has to be equal representation. There are so many women designers now. Ali May, all of these people have literally changed the game for sneakers. My passion for sneakers, or my obsession for, or even for the knowledge part of it, cannot be questioned by a man. Should not be questioned by a man, because there's no part where the man knows more than I do. And I have my own personal instances for this. There have been instances where people have come up to me and asked me, do you even actually know about sneakers? And for me, that was kind of like the tipping point for everything. I was like, I'll show you. So rebellious though, but I just feel like I had to make a statement with the fact that I can do it. I can make sure that the sneaker community knows me enough to know that I can do things.
Yeah, but I mean, totally makes sense. Firstly, congratulations with the whole sneaker event. It was beautiful. I'm sure it was a hit, right?
Also was very overwhelming for me. I wasn't expecting it. But yes, it turned out to be a good success. I think it was like when your own idea kind of births and actually grows, it just makes you feel like wholesome, and that's what it was, the feeling of it all.
Yeah, that's true. I've seen multiple times where men think that women don't know so much about streetwear or even sneakers for that matter, but that's not true really. And on Instagram, I've been seeing a lot of female creators creating very amazing content, whether it be streetwear or to sneakers. There are so many sneakerheads in the women's industry. I mean, what did he say? There's so many women sneakerheads. Yeah, that was the correct term. So yeah, I mean, I totally agree with you. I'm on board on this point. But why do you think that it's male dominated? Why do you think, like, in very short?
I mean, we live in a patriarchal society. I mean, there's no two ways about that. But what I've seen in the sneaker industry is the fact that there have been I'm just trying to equate the balance of say, even if I go towards the nitty-gritty of women sneaker designers, I can count them on my fingers. But when it comes to, say, men, there are so many. I mean, I will lose fingers just to counting them. And I just feel like I can give you an example. I remember it was I think it's Off-White Jordan 4. Virgil Abloh's sneaker, and it was released specifically as a women exclusive release. However, I don't remember the year, I'm sorry, but it was released, and there was a huge hue and cry among the whole community. Why is it not released in men? And because of that pressure, they had to release it in men's sizes.
I mean, that is true. What I've seen that this community is it feels exclusive, and it is actually at some on some levels. Like, it's not like anyone can get up and just get into it, because there are a lot of limitations. Firstly, there could be sizes, obviously. Then there's the budget, obviously. So there are these factors which make it an exclusive group. I mean. And speaking about, again, sneakerheads and hypebeasts, I feel that is why hype beast is such a thing. I mean, I don't know what to call it exactly, but what do you think about these sneaker collectors? I mean, I'm one, obviously, you're one, but I'm talking about the hype beast, you know, the people, 80,000 के जूते, तेरा घर जाएगा इसमें.
Reselling market in itself is a part and parcel of the sneaker industry, because it also is the business of it. Though I myself personally do not resell any of my pairs, neither do I indulge in buying resale pieces. If I can cop a sneaker at a retail price, that just helps me be more static about it.
So I guess that is it for today's video. I mean, this was a great talk. I'd love to talk about more stuff, because apparently you know a lot more about this stuff, and we can talk about this stuff for hours actually. And there's a lot of topics that I would love to cover, like the Air Jordan 1 not being comfortable. So yeah, let's do this another time. Did you enjoy this? Stay stylish. Not a Brand launches this Sunday. Triple S out.